I wrote poetry, and I'd heard of spoken word, and I'd watched videos and stuff, but I'd never actually performed or anything before Write Out and Speak Out.
I feel this program has really strengthened my ability to own the words that I say.
To use my gifts and talents and not be afraid of sharing it with others.
Now I think about how the words sound and not just how they read on paper.
I was a good writer, but good turned into great.
Like, I've become a better student, I think, through this program. Because this program teaches you so many things. It teaches you how to better communicate and how to better perform on stage and how to better work with words and how to better connect with your fellow performers.
So everybody hates Mondays, but knowing I had a workshop, I was like, yeah, it's Monday. And I get out of school at 4:30, so for me to want to come somewhere else after school and taking the APs and the ACT preps and all that stuff, I was like, I don't care, I'm going to workshop.
We were led to use our diaphragm, and we were taught the balloons in the inside of our bodies and stuff and how that works, and how to use our volumes and when to use it, when not to use it. Being taught the differences between stage right, stage left, just the differences in theater and poetry and how everything interacts together, and it just made sense.
I think it's kind of opened up my mind and taken me out of that sort of daze of just the 7:15 to 2:15, and I think that's gonna carry throughout my life.
One of my favorite parts was getting to meet all of the people there and to become friends with all of these interesting individuals.
I'm surrounded by people who are smart and creative and are like just amazing.
Before, like, I wrote poetry, but like I'll write it and keep it to myself because I always thought it wasn't good enough, or what if somebody doesn't like it, or what if I messed up, what if I said something wrong. But once I began the program and I started to read my poems out loud and people understood where I was coming from, it made me feel confident in what I wrote.
The teamwork aspect, because at first I was like a team of me type person. I didn't really like working with groups. It was just Adrianique, straight Adrianique, nobody else. It's us, let's do it. But now I understand that there's more and more people that I can trust, that I can work with and actually build with, and that I don't actually have to let that go.
The students have breathed life into my zeal for spoken word.
Coming into this program, I knew that the children would have a good experience. Hattiloo programs always work out that way. But I never imagined that they would transform as much as they did from week to week.
Getting into this program and watching them grow has been amazing because they started off so quiet and so small, but once we let them know that they had a voice and how great they were, it was good. Woosah, I'm so proud of them.
The kids went from nervous, shaking paper in front of them to being able to use body language, their voice, projection, articulation, and it came a lot more naturally than I expected it to.
Watching them in exercise that we said, just write a poem on this subject or write a poem in this style instantly and stand up and share it in front of a group of people that you don't necessarily know at this point. And they did it and they were excited about doing it was amazing to me. And I realized as much as I can teach that, I have to embody that as well.
On days that I felt like I wanted to give up, whether it had to do with school, life in general, or things that I'm dealing with, it seemed like I always would get a call from one of my mentees and say, hey, and to have someone look up to you as much as you look up to other people is sort of like inspiring within itself.
I left every one-on-one session and every workshop. I literally went home and got out my journals. It encouraged me to get on SoundCloud and test out some of my own poetry. It made me come out and perform in front of people I've been working with at Hattiloo for years who had never seen me perform. Just to do it, to do the work.
They opened up to me. They told me things I never imagined I would have heard. I would have never imagined that they would have been able to be just so open and so honest and so real, especially when it came to their writing. I never would have imagined that they would have gotten more into this But the funny part about it is, I grew.
Beyond anything, poetry is an eye-opener. You know, it opens your eyes to not only a person's perspective, but it also opens your eyes to how different but beautifully different we are, and how we can continue to learn from each other just by allowing ourselves to learn.
Everybody has a story and it should be told.
This is my life. This is not a game. I'm not just writing this for you to snap. I'm not just writing this so you can feel some type of way about me. I've lived everything that I've said, but I have to believe everything I'm about to say.
But when you write and you speak out about it, now you're letting it be heard with your voice, your affection, telling your story.